Today, we're going to dive into one of the shortest books in the entire New Testament, 3 John. But don't let its size fool you. This thing is tiny but mighty. It's not just some old letter. It's like a backstage pass to a 2,000-year-old drama, a really human story about support, pride, and some serious community conflict. And that's really the big question, right? How can this super short personal letter from 2,000 years ago have anything to say to us today, especially about how we treat each other and who we decide to support? So let's unpack it and find out.
Okay, first things first, we gotta set the scene. What we're looking at here is intensely personal. This isn't some grand sermon for thousands of people. Nope, it's a direct, pointed message from one guy to another, and they're dealing with a very real, very specific problem.
So here are the basics. The author just calls himself the Elder, but pretty much everyone agrees this is John the Apostle. He's writing to this guy named Gaius. And the whole reason for the letter is, well, twofold. First, to praise Gaius for doing the right thing, and second, to warn him about someone else who's doing the absolute wrong thing. And it all boils down to this one big issue: how they're treating traveling missionaries. So let's start with the hero of our story, Gaius. The Elder kicks off the letter just full of joy. Not just because he likes Gaius, but because Gaius's actions are having this huge positive impact on everyone. He's the role model in this whole situation. So why is Gaius getting all this praise? Well, the author is super specific about it. He keeps hearing reports that Gaius walks in the truth, which basically means his beliefs and his actions are perfectly in sync. And the number one proof of this? His incredible hospitality and support for these missionaries who are out there trying to spread the gospel. Now, when we talk about hospitality here, it is so important to understand what that actually meant back then. This wasn't just, having someone over for dinner. For these traveling teachers, it was a literal lifeline. They were completely dependent on the support of local believers like Gaius for their food, a place to sleep, everything they needed to continue their work. And just to show you how important this was, the author calls what Gaius is doing a faithful and worthy of God action. This wasn't just seen as being nice. It was seen as a reflection of God's own character. I mean, that's the gold standard of behavior right there. But every good story needs a conflict. And that brings us to the letter's antagonist, a man named Diotrephes. And wow, the tone of the letter just shifts on a dime here. It goes from all that praise straight to a very serious warning. Diotrephes is the polar opposite of Gaius. He's described as prideful, harmful. He completely rejects the authority of the elder. He slams the door on the missionaries. And this is the real kicker. He actively tries to stop anyone else from helping them. So he's not just unhelpful, he's actively working against the mission. So what this letter does so well is it just lays out this tale of two paths. It's not some complex theological debate. It's a super simple, practical lesson shown through two real people. One you should absolutely imitate, and one you should definitely avoid. I mean, look at this contrast side by side. It really comes down to this. On one side, you've got Gaius. He walks in truth. He shows hospitality. On the other side, Diotrephes. He acts out of pure pride and rejects people. Gaius cooperates. His actions are worthy of God. Diotrephes refuses to cooperate, and his actions are just plain harmful. The difference could not be more clear. And all of that contrast builds up to the letter's core instruction. It's aimed right at Gaius, but really it's for anyone reading it. And it's so straightforward. Do not imitate what is evil, like we see in Diotrephes, but imitate what is good, like we see in Gaius. Simple as that. So how does this all wrap up? Does the author just leave it at a warning and hope for the best? No way. He actually has a plan to deal with this conflict head-on, and he's full of hope for a better future. So here's his strategy. It's a 3-step plan. First, write this letter. Encourage the right guy, call out the wrong behavior. Second, promise he's coming to visit soon, so they know he's serious. And third, he flat out says he plans to confront the situation directly, face to face. He is not going to let this toxic behavior just slide. And that is such a powerful final note. I mean, think about it. Despite this really serious problem, this prideful leader causing all this division, the letter doesn't end with despair. It ends with this proactive spirit, with this hope that, hey, if we shine a light on this and address it personally, we can actually fix it. Which, of course, brings us all the way back to today. This ancient drama of hospitality versus hostility, it kind of forces us to ask a really modern question. In our world, A world that is so full of online conflict and division. Who are the travelers today? Who are the people, the creators, the voices out there spreading good messages that we are called to support and show a little hospitality to? It's a 2,000-year-old question, but man, it feels more relevant now than ever.